Grandma stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing somewhere.
My earliest memories go back to when my sister Nancy and I, we literally walked 5 blocks to school. My mom sent us with our dog. We had a boxer, and we went to a Catholic school. So the boxer would run into the playground and torment all the nuns. And the nuns would say to us, whose dog is that? And we'd look at each other and say, we don't know. We don't know whose dog that is. But you think after going there 8 years, they'd figure it out, right? We had endless parties at our house. She always did so much cooking. We had so much fun. We were always around family. It was just a big thing for us, always. So that's it.
Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. Mama said, Mama said, Mama said. Mama
My favorite thing was when Neil Armstrong was walking on the moon. And it was my father, my mother, and Sandy and I. We were watching. And Neil Armstrong, you know, he stepped on the moon and he said, you know, this is a major step for mankind. And Sandy says, why are we watching this garbage? And Grandma turned around and slapped her in the face.
Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. My mama said.
I just want to tell my mother how much I love her and to thank her for being the best mother in the world. She and my dad were the best parents anybody ever had. We had a wonderful family life, and I love her dearly.
Mother, happy birthday. I love you with all my heart. I always have. I thank God that you are my mother and that my father was my father. You've taught me so much, but I'll tell you one of my favorite things is that you always taught me to be strong. But by strong, I mean that you get over it. You know what I mean? Like the day our dog would die, you'd say, go get the Encyclopedia Britannica, get the D, get a new dog, get over it. If somebody doesn't like you, or go through a breakup, you know, I like to wallow in it. They're just like, get over it. Somebody doesn't like you, you don't like them. So I have to tell you, for a 4'9" woman coming from the era that you did and being the youngest of 16 children, you are like the best role model anybody could ever hope to have. You created this family. You created all of us. And we love each other so much. And our family means everything to us, obviously, but it's all because of you and Daddy. And I love you very much. Happy birthday, Ma.
Hey, Mom. You know I love you to death, and Kathleen and I have been married 46 years. And you're 90 years old, so you know that I've been around you half your life. You and Dad have always treated me like a son. I love you for it. One thing I gotta thank you for is you raised a miniature Adeline who is exactly like you. She's got all your mannerisms, and she talks like you, walks like you, and that's why I love her the way I do. So Mom, just have a good 90th birthday, and we love you.
Some of my fondest memories were at my grandmother's in the summertime. My parents used to drop us off, it seemed like for a week or two at a time. And Grandma would let us stay up late. You know, at home we had bedtimes. With Grandma there was no bedtime. It was poker. Usually after we got out of the shower, it was poker and blackjack till about 2 in the morning. So I remember swimming in Grandma's pool with all my cousins. Grandma loved Buddy Holly. I remember Pretty Peggy Sue. Hearing that all summer long. So I love you, Graham. Happy 90th. And I hope we're here celebrating your 100th. I love you.
Hi, Grandma. I want to wish you a very happy 90th birthday. I wish you many more years of happiness and health. Love you.
I just want to wish Grandma a happy 90th birthday, and I love you. Happy birthdays in the 90s. I love you.
All right, first of all, happy birthday, Grandma. I definitely can say hands down, you have are the greatest grandmother, the most wonderful, probably, definitely the most fun. And one of my fondest memories definitely is that when my parents would go away on vacation, we'd go stay at my grandmother's house, and basically we'd be up all night playing poker. We'd go bowling. The next day we'd swim in the pool all day, and just constantly having a great time. Always wanted to be at my grandmother's house. Always, always, always. And then what would usually happen is Robbie would always throw a wrench into it, because if he had a girlfriend, which he always did, we'd all have to go to school. See, my grandmother was so cool, both my grandparents, that they let us skip school. And my parents were on vacation, but because of Robbie, he had a girlfriend, we all had to go. So if one went, everybody had to go. So thank you, Robbie, for that. But anyway, learned how to be a great card player from my grandmother, and I have a ton of memories. I'm just moving a little slow here today, as you probably can tell, because the family's been in town for 5 days. So as you can imagine, it's been nonstop. But it's been worth every minute of it. One of the greatest things, too, is just getting together with everybody. So it's been nice to see everybody. I love you, Graham. Happy birthday.
I can remember going to church one day with 17 eyeshadows, red ruby lips, and blush that looked like ridiculous. I looked like a clown. My aunt told me to wash it off, and of course I ran to Grandma and said, "Grandma, she said I can't do that," and Grandma let me go. And everybody yelled at Grandma on the way to church, but she said she'll fix it herself, which she did, because when I went to church, everybody laughed at me, and I came home immediately, washed my face, and to this day, I don't wear any makeup. Love you, Graham.
Happy birthday, Grandma. 90. Wow. That's huge. I love you. Great party. Love you, Grandma.
Happy birthday, Grandma. I love you. My memory of you is always going to your house and having a crap full of candy. And you would always bring me home like this big bag of it when I would go to your house. You'd just put it in a bag and just send me off with it. That's all.
One of my memories with my great-grandma is going to her house with my mom and my sister, and we used to be really excited to go use her magnet that was like a little psychic, and we'd ask it questions, and it says, is it in the cards or it's not in the cards? But that was one of my memories, and happy birthday, we love you.
Hey Grandma, just want to say love you very much. I'm not going to tell a funny story. I mean, there were just so many of them growing up. I just think that you were and are the best grandma that we ever could have had. So many of my memories just come from your house, and I think 69 Kathy Lane will probably always be one of my favorite places I could ever go. From swimming by the pool, eating radishes and onions with you and Grandpa, to playing poker till 3 in the morning at age 6. I'm still a pretty good poker player, and actually my kids, I passed my skills on to them too, so thank you very much for that. Just want to say I love you, happy birthday, and my life would not have been the same without you.
Okay, my memory of Grandma is years ago, Jeff and I, in fact it was when Jeff and I were dating, it was probably 22 or 23 years ago. He and I used to go over every weekend and play cards with Grandma and Grandpa. We used to play poker and pinochle, and she used to feed us, even though we had just been out to dinner, it was never enough, and she used to shove food down our face, all kinds of glumpies and pierogies, and I don't even know how you say half the stuff she used to feed us, but anyway, it was really good, and we really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, and I just want to wish you happy birthday, and we all love you.
Happy birthday, Grandma. I love you.
I don't really have any memories of my great-grandma. The only ones I do remember, though, around Christmas when I'd be like 5 or 6, like every kid does, they try to go under the tree and look for presents. Well, I do that. Then there'd be great grandma, get your ass away from the presents. Wait till everyone's done. Then there'd be everyone, it's fine, no it's not. He needs to get away from them. But, I mean, she was a great grandma. She's crazy in a great grandma sort of way. And I love you, great grandma.
And darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
One of my favorite stories is when I used to take grandmother shopping, and there was this little Japanese kid, and they were by the bakery. And this kid, no older than about 3 or 4, just all of a sudden starts punching all these little pound cakes. Punch, 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 punch. Then my grandmother out of nowhere, who the hell's kid is this? This is ridiculous. Are you this kid's mother? Are you this kid's mother? You should have to pay for all this crap. This is ridiculous. So we finally find out the kid's parents. What's wrong with you? Don't you watch your children? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. So they stop for a while. Then all of a sudden the kid comes back. Punch, punch, punch. Punch it again. I'm about to punch you right in your face. Done.
Happy birthday, great grandma. Happy 90th birthday. I love you. Happy birthday, great grandma.
So, Grandma, they told us to think of a lot of stories. I can think of a bunch. I think of all the times on Kathy Lane. Grape Crush, Orange Crush, Cherry Crush. I know I couldn't drink it. It was Aunt Frida's. I remember the times at Idlewood and all the times that we spent together. But one story I'm going to tell real quick is at my other grandma's parents, my father's side, their 50th wedding anniversary. You made me stand up. I was only about 9 years old. First time I ever wore a tuxedo. And at this big party they had with like 300 people, they made me stand up and give a speech. And I stood up and all I did was cry. I just cried and cried and cried. And I was a little embarrassed, but you know, it taught me to learn and grow. And today, at your 90th birthday, I was the first person to stand up and make a toast, and I held all my tears back. So I think you actually helped me grow as a person, inside and outside. So I love you, Grandma. I really wish your daughter Nancy, my mom, was here to celebrate. But thank you very much. I hope we're here for 100, and I truly love you, Grandma.
Okay, we just want to come and say we wish you a very, very happy birthday. We're so pleased to be part of the whole family, and we hope you nothing best but many, many more years to come. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Okay, well, Mom, I just wanted to let you know that you got me hooked on pinochle and gambling. When we used to clean your house on Saturdays, you know it took us from 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night because we had to stop when the races came on so we could see who would win. And we never got paid because all the money that we made went back to you because you would win and we would lose. But Mom, I really miss you. I'm glad I came down here for your 90th birthday, and really happy, happy birthday. And I hope I'm here for your 100th.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Grandma. Happy birthday to you.
Full version.
May the dear Lord bless you. May the dear Lord bless you. May the dear Lord, may the dear Lord, may the dear Lord bless you. How old are you? How old are you? How old, how old, how old are you?
I'm 90 years old.
Yay!
yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your left hip in, you put your left hip out, you put your left hip in and you shake it all about.
I just want to say that Grandma was the best grandma growing up.
Absolutely.
69 Kathy Lane, probably the most dysfunctional place on the planet, but also probably the most fun place to grow up and have a grandma and spend all your summers. So we love you. Thank you.
To the
It's been
best
great.
mother on earth.
Thank you for all you guys coming. Like he said, you know, we don't spend enough time together, and it's nice to see everybody here. Thank you so much for coming once again. Happy, wonderful 90th birthday to the most beautiful woman in the world. 90 years old, absolutely wonderful. Grandma, you've taught me so much throughout the years. You've taught us all so much throughout the years. Yeah, exactly. She definitely, one thing she's always told me is, you're definitely going to know how to put an earring in a girl's ear one day. You're going to be able to do that for your wife for many, many years. And I don't know, it's whatever. And then she also taught me how to grocery shop, so that might come in handy once in a while down the future. But Grandma, we love you. Happy 90th birthday.
My best memories growing up were on 69 Kathy Lane. We used to play with the kids next door, and they used to stand on the side of the fence while we swam. And then they used to tell us, that house is so loud. But like Jeff was saying, it was the loudest house, but the funnest house.
Right.
When we grew up, Mom and Dad said you had to be to bed at a certain time. As soon as we walked in the door at Grandma's, we would play poker till 2 in the morning. Then she would tell us we didn't have to go to school the next day. But I wanted to go. I was the kid that ruined it. I spoiled it for all of them. I was the one that wanted to go to school.
Because he had a girlfriend.
I did?
And then she never was there.
This isn't what this is about. This is about all those times going to bingo.
Bowling.
Right? Bowling. Laying in your room watching that little television that was kind of a little square TV. And all the big Bonnie Bell lip things that you used to give us. I says, eat those damn things. They're like this fat, this big.
Oh, he's sick. He's got the flu. And we go out to bingo. or we play what? Cards. Yeah.
We play cards.
We play cards or we're taking bowl. Come home at 3 and I said, sleep. You're not going to school today.
Linda?
Being at Grandma's house all summer, I never came home. I never wanted to come home because Grandma let us do whatever we wanted. And I was always Grandma's favorite girl. Sorry, Kate. And so I can remember one time Grandma wanted to let me go out with Aunt Sandy. She helped me find a fake ID. And Aunt Sandy Grandma said,
Uncle Sam's.
And we went to Uncle Sam's, and when I got home, Grandma was there and said, was it fun? Did you love it? And I said, yeah. And she goes, just don't tell your mother, and now go to bed.
Why don't you tell them about the makeup?
I did on the film. So Grandma, we love you. Happy birthday. And I hope you're here for 20 more.
Thank you.
I love you.
Kathleen is your clone. She's exactly like you. It chokes me up.
Sorry for you.
She feels sorry for
But I love you.
For Luke.
And
came in, that's why I had to stop.
it was. I think a special thanks needs to go out to Howard and Andrew
And Barbara.
for taking care of Grandma.
Yes.
Howard is an angel.
Where's my wings? Where's my wings?
And Barbara's taking good care of Mother, and Andrew took her Christmas shopping.
Happy birthday, Graham. I can definitely agree with what everybody else has said here. I think you are an amazing example of a grandmother. I think that a lot of people could take a lesson from that. One of the things I also remember is everything that Jeffrey said, Robbie and Linda, is that Kathy Lane, that had to be the funnest household. I would say the Gowl kids, we never really got in trouble though. I can remember the Buntons boys always getting slapped or beat.
Michael,
so
what are
thank
you doing?
Thank you for that. But definitely everything everybody said, I've become a really good card player from that.
And you had a grandma lunch that came with the little square cheeses that they used to put in that were wrapped up, and the oranges were peeled. Linda used to actually take a bite out of our sandwich. You did. You took a bite out of my. I had to fake the first bite when I was a kid. But anyways, that's what it was like going up to Grandma's, swimming, the food, all the cousins, and still remember it. And obviously everybody else does too. So Grandma, you were very special. And I think when we all look around, I think there's one thing that probably most of us have in common here. If it wasn't for you,
we wouldn't be here.
We wouldn't be here. So I love you, Grandma, very much.
I mean, everybody has the same thing in common that they're saying, right? You're the best grandmother in the most fun house, and we all have fond memories of that household. Thank you. So, love you, Grandma.
Barbara and Sandy slept in the bed together, this little twin bed, which, like, I don't know how they slept in there, but
Because we were like poor people, there was holes in the wall.
I
used to cry, and when I go to sleep, I put my hand on the hole, hoping that a rat wouldn't come down in there. And then when I moved to the suburbs, I had nightmares that I'd have to go back to Guilford.
Yeah, but I always loved when Mom and Dad went shopping at the Broadway Market, and of course, supposedly we're cleaning. But anyway, when they came home, she had the freshest cold cuts and bread and all the pastries, and of course, packages and packages of all these different boxes of Kleenex and wax paper. It was like a store. Everything was piled high on the refrigerator and freezer, and then it was so high they had to put the rest on the attic stairs. And you would hardly go up to the attic because you only had this much to go up, you know? And then after we eat, she'd say, okay, come on, grab a peanut. Okay, wait a minute, the race is on. Let me see, let's see who won, you know? Of course, and like I said, we lost our money because
Your horses are still
our
running.
horses are still running. But it was like I was there all day long, all the time. And my mother's like, do you live over there? Where have you been? You know? Yeah, really. You know? That's why I said this is like my second mother, because I was there all the time. Thank you very much.
Growing up with my parents, they were always of the age of my friends' sort of grandparents, because I was an afterthought. They actually had 2 grandchildren by the time I was born. But I loved my parents. Every night, and I mean every night, after dinner, we would play a game. We'd play cards, we'd play progressive rummy, we'd play Rummy-O, we'd play this, we'd play that, and I looked forward to it. And then when I got into my teens and I could go out, because at 18, you were legal. So I would have all my friends getting ready to go out, and I'd be like, wait, I gotta play my mother Yahtzee. I owe her 1,000 hours and back scratches. I'm gonna play for double or nothing. And so when I left for California, I think I owed her like 30,000 hours and back scratches. And you know, Mom was always fair. She was always like, okay, let's just play for 10 minutes. Maybe you'll win. You know, you can win a 10-minute back scratch. So I would stay home and I would play a game before I would actually go out with my friends. And I always said, I left home at 23, lived in California now 29 years. And I always said, I love living with my parents. Other people have problems with it. I loved it. I love my parents, love my mother, love my father. And we had a significantly good time. We'd laugh. My father had a great sense of humor, crazy about my mother. We'd walk by her and pinch her, and she'd say, cut it out, leave me alone, what's wrong with you? And he'd look at me and wink. And he'd say, none of those actresses have anything over on your mother. She's the best looking girl in the world. She'd say, shut up. So anyway, I left her at 23, and it was wonderful. I always said, hey, if I'm gonna pay rent, it's not gonna be in Buffalo. I'm gonna go 3,000 miles away. But I love my parents. I thank God for you guys every day. I do. I honestly say, thank God to my parents. Thank God for my parents and for my family. Because I wouldn't trade you for nothing in the world.
Okay, I'm going to tell you when my mom and dad used to go out, Patsy used to have these boyfriends that came to the house. And they were like Spanish or whatever. And she didn't know, they'd be dancing the rumba and everything. And she'd get me up in the middle of the night when they were there because she didn't want to be alone with them. So she would say, come on. So I'm like 10 or 11, sitting there in my curlers and my bathrobe watching her dance the rumba with these foreign guys.
Doctors. They were doctors.
Yeah, but she said don't worry about it because they're all doctors. Oh, God.
Dr. Love.
And then there was one more funny one. And this brings up my sister Nancy. And she had this dinner dance to go to, and this guy was just crazy about her, David. And she had sprained her ankle playing basketball. And my mother said, I don't care what you did. You're going to this dance. So there was no hair curlers. I had to sit her down and tease her hair. She was screaming every time I was grabbing her hair and teasing it. Cut it out, and Mom's slapping her. You're going to this dance. I said, he spent a lot of money on you. She came back, her ankle was this thick.
Nancy calls me one day and she's laughing so hard, and I'm at work and I'm on my cell phone and she can't catch her breath. I said, what is so funny? And she says, Mom, and she's laughing and laughing. She's like, Mom got out of the shower, looked at Aunt Frida naked, and she's like, am I as fat as Frida?
You remember singing that, Mom?
But the answer was no.
When I was growing up, I always said, well, I'm going to live by my mother, and I'm going to live upstairs in the attic in Guilford Street.
If you could get up there.
Yeah, if we could get up there. And unfortunately, then I moved down to Florida, and then so did you. And then Daddy died, and then you moved right next to me. And so you were with me, and now you live with me, so I got my wish. I do live by my mother, and I thank God for that.
Okay, it's nice having 5 daughters. You learn from them, and they learn from you. But sometimes I think I learn more from them than they learn from me. But it's really nice having 5 girls. I always said I wanted 4 boys, but I'm very glad I had the 5 girls, because I learned more from them, I think, than they learned from me. So, and this is really a great party. I can't believe I lived 90 years. They said live to be 100. I doubt it. Of course, my mother lived till she was 103. She was very strict. She said it once, and the next time she used a strap. I don't believe in a strap. I'd rather not let them go somewhere where they really wanted to go. Then they say, I'm not going to do it again, but that's a lot of BS, you know. I was really surprised that I had so many friends, you know. Of course, maybe there's a few people that don't like me, but that's okay. Don't like me? Don't look at me. I love my family, too. I think I was sort of strict with my girls. But my older girl says, yeah, you were strict with us, but the youngest one got away with murder. Well, maybe that's true. You know, but that's the way it is. I guess you're a little more strict with the older ones, but as time goes by, you can sort of lean and say, they learn. And if they don't, they learn. They learn by doing, too. So that's about it. Thank you very much for having me.